This is The Morning Drive. It's Mirror Business FM. My name's Tim Elliott, and we often talk about Dubai's big hitters, tourism and hospitality businesses. But today we're going to focus on the other businesses that make this city, Dubai, such a dynamic hub, from community-led concepts to experience-driven brands. These are the businesses shaping how we connect, how we spend every day. And right now, I think it's fair to say a little bit of adaptation is having to happen. So what does resilience mean? And what does it really look like in today's climate? It's kind of what's going to drive, I hope, this conversation. First of all, and to my right, it's hello to Grace Karim, who is the co-founder of Bookends. That's a community-driven platform making reading more accessible through book exchange and cultural initiatives. Trying to get this right. But Grace, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here.
You're very welcome. Good to have you here. So also good morning to Lottie Jones, who is the founder of QuizBiz, which is a live entertainment company delivering, I'm going to quote here, Lottie, high-energy, interactive quiz experiences across the UAE.
That is correct. Hi, Tim.
Welcome. Nice to have you here. Also a side hustle in children's books. We might come back to that as well. And over Zoom, hi to Victoria Myers, who is the founder of the Small Retailer Network, which is a platform supporting independent businesses with training, mentorship, and growth strategies. Victoria, good to have you on as well.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good to have you all here. And what I want to do is get your opinions, your views on all of you, a number of things to start with before we kind of turn to your particular areas of expertise. So to begin with, and Grace, I'll start with you here. Across your industry, the different industries that you guys work in, but with you in particular, what changes have you felt most immediately since, we've seen this kind of rise in tensions where we are now, the uncertainty we're feeling?
For us, reading is a refuge for a lot of people who are going through uncertainty. So they go to a book for them to get into some normalities in their lives. So people want more reading, they want more pages to travel through so they can put what's going on behind them and move forward.
Kind of lose themselves, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's kind of a refuge. Lottie, what about you? What changes have you felt most immediately?
Yeah, so we're a very service-based entertainment provider. So we provide quizzes all across the Emirates for people who like to go into the pubs and the bars, etc., different venues. So what we're seeing is a lot of people still want to continue with our service-based entertainment, and it's the challenge that we have is that are we providing that in a safe environment? Do we support our community to come out and quiz? Are we also supporting them if they want to stay at home and still attend the quizzes? We are also catering for that as well. So we are seeing quite a few changes in how people are continuing with kind of the daily routine.
Yeah, I can imagine. Victoria, what about you? You talk to people regularly, you're training, you're mentoring people. What have you felt most immediately?
For working with product-based businesses, one of the main challenges that they have had straight away is that sharp decrease in sales when tension started to really mount, because customer behavior was very distracted from buying things to other aspects. What we've noticed is there has been a gradual returning to more normal levels of spending. But what's really challenging a lot of the product businesses right now is the supply chain issues that have been created by these regional tensions. So whether brands are importing completed products they've had manufactured themselves, or materials to manufacture, the supply chain challenges are something that has become quite apparent at this point, and it's something that's obviously going to maintain quite a difficult position for some brands as we move forward. Having said that, obviously small businesses are very resilient, and they are finding new ways to manage, new ways to cope, and new strategies to overcome these challenges.
That's an interesting point. What kinds of practical changes have you seen your clients, people you're mentoring, changing to protect or maybe grow revenues?
Well, what we have found is I always advise people to be checking their inventory and to making sure like what product they have currently got on hand, what they're going to require, and what obviously they've got in transit that what they were expecting to have, and whether they're still going to be able to receive that in a timely manner or not. What brands have then been looking to do is either adapt their current stock planning strategy for the product that they do actually have on hand. Some brands have been adapting, creating new products, creating new styles and designs. In particular, we've seen quite a few brands who've been really emphasizing this connection to the UAE and to Dubai, and have been producing product which customers are really keen to buy into, which really reflect their connection to the UAE, and those kind of products which normally they might sell perhaps around National Day at the end of the year, they have been reintroducing, rebringing that kind of product back to the fore, because that's the kind of thing that customers are looking for at the moment, and really adapting their product strategy to meet the current needs of the customer.
Lottie, can I ask you the same question? Have you had to make any practical changes, any particular changes?
We have introduced the feature of online quizzing. So we're now doing it through Zoom, kind of harks back to COVID era.
I was going to say, yeah.
People make the comment, feels just like COVID, but obviously it's not. We're allowed out. We can move about our daily activities with caution. But yeah, we've started a new Sunday quiz, which happens every Sunday. Right. And the first one that we did was so huge in popularity that we actually almost broke the software.
So what do you get in terms of numbers then?
Well, we had 246 people join the Zoom wanting to connect from their home. And then the software allowed us to allow in 185 teams. And we didn't know the capability of the speed quizzing software, which is the software we use. So yeah, that was an awakening that we actually had a limit on that. But we've done one every Sunday for 4 weeks now. And the popularity is really amazing. But so is also the people coming to the bars. We've still got good attendance there as well.
Okay, so that's 246 people joining, but that could be 246 teams of people.
Households, so maybe
that's
couples,
households, so that
families.
could be 3-4 people potentially.
Yeah.
That's huge. Grace, let me ask you a little bit about your customers first of all. Are your customers behaving differently? Has it changed at all? You're talking about books as a refuge for people, but what's your feeling on how customers are?
We felt that people, they want to have an escape. However, they don't want to spend too much money. And they also want offers, and affordability is the key point for them to act. Having said that, we are a lot stronger online because we are a platform. We deliver across the whole UAE. And people are having the freedom to place their orders at their fingertips. They don't need to come to our store. However, because the people who are around our area physically, they wanted something that is normal into their life, they were bringing their kids and coming to the store. But of course, this is a lot less than it used to be before. And for that reason, we also went online and we did a few activities. We did a book reading, we did quizzes, we did discussions around books just to keep the community connected, and people, they attended, they were very happy to have this kind of activities. On top of this, because March is the month of reading, we are offering a 1 dirham book across the whole month, and it is still there until the end of March. Okay. And those are accessible through bundle online and through an offering in our store physically.
Do you know, the thing that I'm getting from this is connection, how important connection is, how important, seeking out, not companionship, but I mean, I guess that's a byproduct of it, but that the connection is key. Victoria, can I ask you about the kind of messaging that's resonating with customers at the moment? What are your clients, people you're mentoring, telling you?
Well, I think the thing that customers are really connecting with quite a lot at the moment is community, as you mentioned. So feeling part of something bigger than themselves right now and feeling part of a collective because it is a common experience that we are going through right now. It is an uncertain time for everybody. So if customers want to feel that the brands that they're shopping with recognize that and are bringing that community feel. They're also, customers are really looking for things like, they're looking for comfort, they're looking to feel cozy and safe in their home. So again, as Grace was saying, it was Lottie was saying, looking in those kind of like harking back to sort of COVID kind of feelings. It's that feeling safe and cozy at home. People are investing in things to make their home environment feel pleasant and comfortable. And then they're also really looking for a bit of joy as well, because there is so much heavy news at the moment. Things are serious. So there are also, on the opposite end of the spectrum, customers are looking for things that are going to bring them joy, and they're connecting with brands that are really helping them to see that it's still okay to try and feel good, and it's still okay to experience a bit of fun, a bit of joy, and even if it's different to how they normally would do it. So when brands can really communicate and connect with their customers on these kind of topics, they're finding that customers are really appreciating that and are really looking to connect with them.
Have you had to change where or how you market your services to increase visibility as of now, or to help with relevance?
Well, obviously, the work that I do is always relevant to small businesses and to help them to grow. So at the moment, it has just been more of the same. It has been connecting with all those people in my wider connections and my wider network, just to make sure that everybody is feeling okay and has got what they need. My role and my passion as a community leader is to help people feel supported, to help people feel safe. So I do have a very wide network and lots of connections. So that is what I have been really leaning into, is that personal connection, just making sure that all those individuals out there on a personal level are getting the support that they need. Whereas that's layered onto the community element, which is always there, which is bringing lots of business owners together.
All three of you have really strong community elements in one way or another in your businesses. Have you seen, I'll ask you first of all, Lottie, have you seen that? Is it different in the current climate?
I think it's not different in a way that our messages were
kind
still
of same,
here.
Same but different.
It
I
is
suppose.
because we've created with our community a sense of continuity and normality. And if you come to the quiz, you're going to get exactly the same experience as you did before. When you walk in, you kind of like leave the outside world behind you. You know, you meet up with friends, you laugh. You can actually see the tension from people kind of leaving them as the quiz starts and they get into the trivia. So for us, you know, we're keeping that message of we're here, we're open, we're still the same. But when it comes to, it's very interesting what's happening in entertainment at the moment, because, you know, venues are kind of closing down some of their budgets. So some of the entertainers are unfortunately being laid off for the minute or on pause, or some entertainers are being asked to kind of take a pay cut at the minute. And, you know, you can see bars and restaurants, they're putting lots of deals out, 50% off, teach them crew, etc. So it's really important that the entertainers are still able to perform, because that's the way that they make their living. And with the quiz hosts, you know, what I'm doing right now is to ensure that, you know, the fees are protected, that they're getting the exact same fee with us that they are usually. And that's really important to us, that we keep everything kind of the same and our entertainers aren't feeling the kind of crunch, as it were.
It's such a difficult time, particularly in an industry like yours, where maybe people aren't, you know, willing to gather as much as they were. Hopefully that changes soon. Grace, how do you turn? Obviously, you're very connected with the community as well. But how do you turn community into something that actively supports growth rather than just the engagement that you described with a book?
For us, we believe that Bookends is not Somia and Grace. Bookends is for every reader. And that was witnessed when we went through the floods in 2024. And we were scared that yesterday it was almost coming back, but last minute it was saved. When this happened, we had to close. We lost more than 14,000 books. We lost all our shelvings. And the way we came back is because of the community. And everyone gathered together. They came physically to help us. They came and they donated afterwards books. So they are connected to Bookends, and they always put in effort to support us in all means. And this is being seen now as well, because people are still buying books, and we have a good customers returns, the repeated customers. So you can see that there is a loyalty. The only thing is people are scared to leave their homes, so the store is a bit quieter than normally is. So this is the support that you are getting from the community.
Yeah. But I spent yesterday buying sandbags, so I feel you. I can't believe 14,000 books. That's dreadful. Victoria, are you seeing more collaboration between businesses right now? And if you are, how does that look? In terms of community support collaboration. I mean.
Well, collaboration is always at the heart of what we do in the Small Retail Network, and it's something that's always a key focus for true collaboration. So rather than just saying that we're supporting each other, the goal is always for that support to be practical and it to be meaningful. So it's not just a case of working together on projects that will result in sales, but it's also the sharing of ideas, it's the sharing of support, it's the asking questions and getting answers from within the community. And it's using that collaborative approach rather than a competitive approach, which really helps everybody to grow, because everyone can then benefit from each other's experience and each other's ideas as well. Because what we've really found is, particularly at times like this when there's heightened stress, it can be sometimes easier to see a clear path for somebody else's business that you've got a slight distance from than it is your own, which obviously you're very close to, and it can be quite difficult to kind of see a path out. So what we found is we've shifted some of the regular sessions that we have from the normal schedule to ones that have just been more open discussion, brainstorming, sharing of ideas, and helping each other to see a clear path through. And it's that kind of collaboration that brings good results for everybody in the long term, but it's particularly needed right now when it can be really hard to think clearly and calmly when the pressure is on if you're not making the same sales that you would expect to, especially in a month like March, which is normally a really strong sales month. It's been Ramadan and Eid. It's been St. Patrick's Day, it's International Women's Day. There's lots of things in March that generally generate a lot of sales. It's usually a really healthy month for the retail industry, but this has obviously had quite an impact on customers' normal buying behaviour. So having the opportunity to talk with each other and truly collaborate on coming up with solutions and ideas has been really impactful.
Lottie, let me ask you the same question, but you mentioned entertainers. Entertainers, of course, who may have been asked to almost furlough in some instances. Things are kind of in that holding pattern. How are you seeing collaboration between entertainers? They know each other, they work together.
We're seeing to echo what Victoria said, we're seeing a real kind of rallying round with small businesses right now. And I was at one of my quizzes last week, and there was an entertainer who had just kind of been laid off, put on pause, as it were. And she was there, and she said, "I've come to celebrate the quiz, come to support you." And I thought, isn't that amazing? You've actually come to one of our events when yours have paused. And I think that's how we're showing solidarity to each other right now, to support each other in the events that are still running. But to talk about the small businesses that are rallying around each other. So we work with 11 small businesses, and they donate prizes for us for the quizzes.
Okay.
And for them, we kind of give them free marketing. So we'll feature them on the screens, we'll feature them on our Instagram, we'll talk about their businesses. And these are everything from kind of small yoga studios to salsa classes, free dentistry, there's home cleaning services, there's apps, things like that. And it's because I'm a startup myself, I formed QuizBiz with just one host, which was myself. And we've grown to, a team of 18 now. I think it's really important to really help each other that are starting up in the same position that I was 2 years ago. And it's something we can really do. And it's fantastic to see that we're all supporting each other.
It is. I mean, I guess in your business, it's kind of a naturally networking style thing as well, isn't it? I mean, that must help.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We all know each other. It's a very small industry, and we all face the same challenges. It's notoriously difficult in the entertainment industry here to kind of, the payments are a bit slow, things like that. So we're all kind of used to the same pitfalls. But then the highs are really high, It's a fantastic industry to be in.
No, it is when it works and when things are going well. No, I'm completely with you. I want to turn to each of you and ask you a few questions specifically about you and your business, if that's okay. And I'm going to start with you, Grace, if I can turn to you for a moment. You're building, it's a long-term, it's a cultural movement, really, isn't it, with the 1 million books challenge. How are you driving momentum early on in a climate where attention, particularly at the moment, attention is fragmented?
For us, we thought that our purpose is to encourage more reading in the era where everyone is on social media and away from actual books.
Yeah.
And for doing that, we are having all the time affordable books in the market, online and in our physical store. So we thought we want to do more of that for the community to come back together. So collectively, we launched that challenge, which just launched last month. And by December 2030, we want to reach 1 million books read in the UAE collectively. So the idea is very simple. You finish reading a book, you come to the website and you log it. I read a book.
Okay.
You read 2 books, you just come and log it. And that is there until December 2030. So we have 5 years to reach 1 million books. I think it's not optimistic, it's realistic. So I hope we will reach that.
How do you know people are reading the books? How do you check?
Because readers, I tell you what, readers, they respect a book. They're true to themselves. And we have also unmanned shelves across the whole UAE in collaboration with other businesses, hotels, coffee shops, and restaurants. And those are run based on honesty. And we hardly have any stock that is lost because readers, they respect the book, they pay for the book. We don't have any stealing as such. And that comes also with authenticity. So there is no point of cheating and log in 20 books when you read only 1.
It's the cynic in me that asks that. But I respect that. I think it's a great idea. I love the idea of it because it's kind of it's low tech. It's kind of offline. You do it when you want to. Is that, with the way we are these days, we're also tech-centric. Is that a real USP? Is that a strong selling point, do you think?
I think so, because people are getting back to authenticity. When we started Bookends 5 years ago, the idea was to be only online. We didn't have any intention of opening a physical store. In 2002, on a daily basis, people are asking, do you have a place where we can come and visit you? We want to touch the books, feel the books, smell the books. And we have lots of people who left their audiobooks and their Kindles to get back to actual books simply because books are affordable. So yes, we are not a high-tech business. We are very much low-tech because people are tired of being interrupted. They want a real me time. And when you are reading an actual book, you are having your me time because you're not being interrupted by any notification or a phone call or an email that is forcing you to put on hold your reading and then get back to the book. No, you are immersed in your reading.
Well, anything that forces you to concentrate on something for more than 20 seconds has got to be a good thing now. I can see in your eyes. What's your strategy? Because you can get people to participate. 1 million books in the 5 years or so is a nice idea. But you want sustained engagement, don't you?
Absolutely. And that comes with our posts, with our engagement with people, reminder all the time. It is on our homepage, so people, when they come to the website, immediately they can see it. And regular reminders, people coming to the store, we talk about it, and we can see people are excited to participate.
Lottie, let me turn to you. QuizBiz is built around, really built around live experiences, plus you now have the online experiences, of course. But how do you keep the consistency up and keep the attendance strong, particularly now?
Yeah, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, we've seen actually more people attend the quizzes in person than we ever have before. And it's mainly
because they're looking for something.
Yeah, because maybe we're on distance learning now for the teachers. People are working from home a little bit more during this time. And when it comes to the evening, people are like, right, I think I'm ready to go out now. And, as long as we're providing the safe environment. So we've moved all of our quizzes indoor. We did have some that were outside. And we are also providing the online quizzes. And we're giving people the option, if you want to stay in and quiz, we're here. If you want to come out and quiz, we're here. But in our bigger venues, the ones that aren't in hotels where footfall is low, where occupancy is low for tourism, we're seeing our venues in the residential areas taking a real jump in numbers. We're getting like 100, 150 people all coming to the quizzes. So in one area of our business, we've really slowed down and we're on pause when it comes to our kind of venues that are in hotels for tourists. But then it's actually taught me that QuizBiz is actually probably 90% residents. Our community is 90% residents. And we're seeing more people than ever actually attend quiz nights because they are craving the normality. They want to meet up with friends. And and the venues are kind of catering for that.
It's kind of business as usual in lots of ways, isn't it? If you had to adjust, the formats or the formula or the offerings at all?
We haven't changed anything to do with the actual format of the quizzes because we wanted people to feel like everything is just continuing as normal.
Right.
What we have made a big change is we've cut our expenditure quite a bit. So we've cut our marketing budget. The things that I would call the luxuries that kind of add to our visibility as a business, we've made trimmings to that. So when it comes to social media ads, kind of some forms of PR, because our quizzes can actually run, we're only operating with them. So if we have the quizmaster and we have the customers, we're running like that. We're not running any additional things.
Right.
Because we are a small business and we have got to take care of our cash flow very carefully. So we can continue to pay the quiz hosts.
Cash flow is everything, isn't it?
Everything. And this is what, going back to the COVID times as well, it taught us then cash flow is everything. And then it's been nearly 6 years since COVID. And I think we kind of almost lull into a false sense of security. I think everything's fine, but cash flow is king. And that's something that I have completely learned.
It really is that. It's the Godfather 3 thing, isn't it? Just when you thought you were out from COVID, you pulled back into a similar situation. As you scale, you're looking to grow the business. What are your next moves to keep up, any momentum that you're building?
Well, we started with one quiz. So I am myself a quiz host. I'm a former teacher as well, but I'm a quiz host first of all. And I built the team based on people coming to me and saying, I love what you're doing. I'd like to be a quiz host as well. And we grew from 1 to 14 quiz hosts. And we started off with one quiz and we were up to 24 quizzes across the Emirates. So we have 1 in Sharjah, we have 2 in Abu Dhabi, and the rest in Dubai. And the business plan is to keep on growing outwards and franchising the business model. So we want to go into the other GCC countries and beyond. And that is still the plan. It's just maybe on hold a little bit in this time.
It's in the holding pattern, I suppose, at the moment.
And we've also launched a physical game, a trivia game. And that came from kind of videos that we posted online going viral. And we call it the Nerd Herd Trivia Wars. And it's got millions of views all over the world right now. And people have been saying, is this something I can buy and play at home? And we thought we should make it. So it came from kind of customer demand. And we weren't going to launch it yet, but we were actually pushing the launch forward because, of course, people are staying in a little bit more. This game you can play inside at home. And we thought, you know what, let's bring the launch forward. And so we're actually going into e-commerce as well.
One question with quizzes, pub quizzes, the like. How do you make sure that people don't cheat, don't use the phone to do it? Because that's an ongoing saga.
So I used to do pen and paper quizzes, and I used to have to patrol in and out all the tables. And if I caught anyone cheating, it was a straight disqualification.
And the teacher came out. And,
oh, yeah. I went straight back to the classroom,
Ruler, back of the neck.
Cheating. Oh, yeah.
Right, nice.
But we actually use an app which is called Speed Quizzing. It was developed in the UK and it's used worldwide. And speed quizzing has the function where you get points based on your speed. So if you answer super quickly, you get more points. And, it takes at least 5-6 seconds to Google the answer. And some people do still attempt that, but they're not going to get anywhere in the top 10 because it's all based on speed.
Right.
So we've actually got around that issue.
Okay, good. Victoria, over to you now. Thank you for staying with us. It's difficult when you're on Zoom to bring you into the conversation as much as I'd like to. Let me ask you a very simple, very direct question about mistakes that you're seeing in the people that you work with. What are you seeing at the moment that businesses might not be doing properly or correctly or right?
I think the biggest mistake I've seen a lot of brands make in the last few weeks is to just freeze entirely. And it's almost been a bit of a panic of not knowing what to do. And there's been quite a lot of concern from small business owners because they operate with such heart and their business means so much to them and their customers mean so much to them that they've had a real fear of marketing their business and their product for fear of being insensitive or offending or upsetting anybody. And that's really held them back from telling customers what it is that they've got to offer. So that's been something that I've been really working with the people in our community, but also elsewhere, just to try and encourage people to remember that the customers are still out there, they are still wanting to buy, and it's really important that small business owners do tell customers what they have available to buy. So that's been something that we've really been putting a lot of focus on, is almost giving permission to market your business, to promote your business, to operate as usual, because I think a lot of small business owners have really felt a little bit of pressure and nerves to actually continue in that way. So that's something that I've really been working on, because particularly then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're concerned about slow sales and you're anxious about how customers will react, then you're not going to make any sales. And then it becomes, the longer it lasts, the harder it becomes to get back to it, to feel confident and comfortable doing your normal day-to-day work within the business. So that has been something that has been a bit of a challenge for a lot of small business owners, and it's something that I've been actively working on within the small retailer network community and within my wider network, to really encourage people to make sure they are doing it, because customers not only want to buy, but they really need some of the things that small businesses are selling. So that has been something that I think a lot of brands have unfortunately held themselves back a little bit during this time, and that has had an impact on their sales. But as people start to feel a little bit more of what they keep referring to as the new normal, people are starting to feel a little bit more comfortable now. Brands are now starting to feel again a little bit more comfortable to promote themselves and market themselves. But obviously big brands, big companies are still doing the same thing that they've always done. They're still running their ads, they're still putting out their social content. Primark's still opening in Dubai Mall tomorrow. Like, big brands are continuing as normal, and it's encouraging small businesses to think in a big business way like that, and remember that they have a valid product that the customer wants to buy, and that they still need to make sure that they are marketing that product as much as possible, even during challenging times.
Yeah, it's the carrying on thing, isn't it? But it's difficult, isn't it? Particularly in a small business, you know, if it's one or two of you, it's that initial hit, I guess, to confidence, and it's important to remember that, isn't it?
Absolutely. And obviously, as we've been going through the course of these last few weeks as well, for a lot of small business owners who maybe are doing everything or most things in their business themselves, if they've also got to layer on homeschooling challenges on top of that, then the literal juggle of managing their time becomes much more challenging. But I think one of the big things that has been holding them back has really been the mindset, and being able to have the confidence to continue to promote their products and to promote their business during this time, as well as the technical and sort of logistical challenges of actually being able to operate as usual.
You mentioned a huge brand there, an international clothing brand, Primark, opening at Dubai Mall tomorrow. Let me ask you a little bit about competition. How can small businesses compete with the larger brand with these huge marketing budgets and, you know, staged openings, the way they develop their business? When it's really uncertain, a small business in particular can't overextend itself. So how do you keep that competitive edge that you're trying to grow?
Well, I think it's really important to recognise that although obviously there are limitations, particularly in terms of budget, for what small businesses can do versus big businesses, they can still use a lot of the techniques, a lot of the strategies that large businesses use. They just have to adapt them more to fit into their own business model. And that's what I do as part of the Small Retailer Network. We look for the ways to use the big business strategies and to adapt them for small businesses. So, but the other key thing to think about when it comes to big business versus small business, is that small businesses actually have a lot of advantages over big businesses in terms of they have a lot more agility, they can be much more flexible, they can respond to customer needs and changing business environments much more quickly than large brands can, which is like turning a very large slow ship. There's a lot of layers of decision makers to go through before a large brand can change direction, whereas a small business, they can make decisions really quickly. They can really react to what customers want and need at any given time, and they can adapt and make changes. And in that way, they can be better able to meet the needs of customers during challenging times like this than some of the big brands. And as I said before, we've seen this in the way that they have really leaned into this connection with the UAE. The big brands aren't able to turn around new product quickly enough to get that onto the shelves in a way that small businesses are able to do. And so there are obviously limitations and challenges to competing with big brands, but actually if you look at it from a different way and look at the advantages that small business owners have, then that can be something that's really positive and helps small businesses to see the opportunities and to continue to grow even in challenging times.
Number of questions that I could direct to each of the three of you, and I'm going to ask you, Grace, first of all, do you see where we are now? Do you see it as a slowdown, or do you see this moment as a time to reflect, so maybe a moment of opportunity in business terms?
For every business, it is uncertain of what is tomorrow hiding for us. And we need to take this in consideration while we are trying to keep our normality in place. At the same time, you have expenditure that whether you're working, you're not working, you have to endure that. You have to have the cash flow to cover that in terms of rent and other fixed operation costs that you have to cater for, whether you're working or not. And for us, I would say that we are a community-based business, and we are very close to our customers, and we have a support from people. We've seen that before, and we are seeing it now as well. And as Victoria was saying, this is the differentiation we have, us being small versus the big brands. We are accessible. People talk to us on the phone. They reach us on WhatsApp. Immediately we answer. So we are showing that we are there for you, customers. And we are providing some normalities into the days of uncertainty. And hopefully, this will not going to last for a very long time, and sooner or later we're going back to our normal days. And we are here to stay. We're not here to give up no matter what. Since we started Bookends, we've been hit by a lot of downs. COVID was one of them. The floods was another one. Now another uncertainty. We don't know what tomorrow is hiding. So to me, those are expensive lessons of resilience and how we will come out of that. This, we'll look back, after a few months, we'll look back at it and we say, that was an expensive lesson.
Yeah, for sure. But you get through these things, don't you?
We have to. We cannot break.
Yeah. No, it's amazing what you can deal with if you face it. I
Absolutely.
mean, that's something you learn, I think. Lottie, let me ask you, what's a mindset shift that business owners need to make? Grace just mentioned the word resilience there. I'm going to use it again. You've got to be resilient at a time like now. But how do you adjust your thinking?
Absolutely. And, I'm relatively new to business. QuizBiz is under 3 years old. So everything is a learning process for me right now. And this is the takeaway. It's a good thing. It will help me grow better as the leader of a business. But for me, the mindset is that, we need to keep everything to be completely, continuous for all of our quiz guests. And it would just be to kind of keep pushing on and remember the thing about saving for a rainy day, the cash flow, everything like that. And, it's a time where we are slowing down. It's a time for us to focus on other parts of the business as well. For example, I can now put some more time and energy into looking at franchising, things like that. So, I think it's just about taking stock, fine-tuning the products that you have and the experiences that you're giving, and making sure that the whole team feel valued.
And keeping on.
Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Victoria, let me ask you very directly, what's an opportunity right now that businesses might be overlooking in this current environment, this current climate?
I think small businesses, obviously at the moment, there has been a huge wave of support for small businesses across the UAE in the last few weeks. There has been, on every platform, every level, people are talking about the importance of supporting small business. And I think that this is a real opportunity now for a lot of small businesses to really secure that connection with the customers out there. People all across the UAE are putting their hands up and saying, small business is important to me. I want to shop with small business. So this is a huge opportunity for brands to really lean into that and listen, and to really highlight the fact that they are a small business and how they can benefit the customer from shopping with them. And there's been all these posts sharing online about tag a small business, and it's making sure that if you are tagged or share, or people are sharing these posts, that you're actually using that information to connect with the people who are putting their hands up, and really using this opportunity to build community with customers who were already shopping with you, but also the customers who haven't yet bought but are interested and are looking for new ways to start shopping with small business and to show their support for the local businesses of the UAE.
So we've got a minute left. I want to ask you, and I'm going to ramble a bit so you can think about what I'm going to ask you next. The question is going to be your biggest piece of advice for businesses trying to stay strong right now, and you've got a sentence to answer this. So I'm going to come to each of you. I was going to offer you a paragraph, but time's just not permitting. So a sentence on being strong as a business in this current climate. Grace, first of all.
When you think of a book, think Bookends first. We are here for you, no matter what.
It's a really good sentence. You clearly read a lot of books. Okay, Lottie, a sentence.
Protect your team, protect your community and staff, look after them, because, Dubai will bounce back, and it's a really crucial time to make everyone feel valued, and that we will continue strongly.
Positive message. I like it. Victoria, final words are yours today.
I would say, do not go through this alone. Find the community that was there to support you. There are lots of other people who are experiencing exactly the same as you. And if you work together and collaborate, then you will come out of this stronger.
Three of you, I really appreciate you coming in today. Grace Karim's the co-founder of Bookends. Great to meet you. Appreciate your thoughts.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. Lottie Jones is the founder of QuizBiz. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
And Victoria Myers, founder of the Small Retailer Network. Thanks, Victoria.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate you joining us. How UAE businesses are doing right now. The thoughts of three people running very different businesses. It's been a great conversation. Thank you all once again. This is Mirror Business FM.